water remain in the public domain.
Improving the quality of Metro Vancouver's drinking water will be an exciting project that we can all be proud of.
These are public facilities that are important to all of us. We all use water.
Welcome to the Sustainable Region. I'm Dagmar Timmer. Today we're here at the Seymour Capilano Filtration Plant, the jewel in the crown of Metro Vancouver's drinking water system. Connecting both of the North Shore's impressive water resources here through this one facility presents a new opportunity to collaborate with the community about how best to run both of the reservoirs through a joint water use plan. There are some exciting possibilities. Metro Vancouver's watersheds are one of our most valuable resources. A new initiative seeks to tap into the energy potential these watersheds offer. One of the first steps in the process is public consultation.
Our primary responsibility is to provide clean, safe drinking water to the citizens of Metro Vancouver. At the same time, though, we are committed to working towards using 100% renewable energy in the region by minimizing our energy use and exploring green, sustainable energy options.
Both the Seymour and Capilano reservoirs regulate the water level behind the dam using spillways. Currently, this water is simply returned to the river system, but it also represents untapped potential. As part of the region's joint water use plan, Metro is now considering using that water to generate electricity. The proposal is feasible because the new Seymour Capilano water filtration plant connects the Seymour and Capilano watersheds.
So the tunnels linking these two tap water systems now create some opportunities for us, some flexibility for us to actually consider what we can do with these two systems jointly.
So if you'd like to raise your hand, the microphone runners will come to you.
First of all, however, the public is having a chance to offer their feedback about the proposal.
What population growth can you sustain with the system that you have in plan?
The current reservoir system will probably provide an adequate supply for another 30 or 40 years.
The first public consultation session for the plan drew a variety of Metro Vancouver residents, there to discuss a wide range of water use issues.
The reason why I came tonight is because it's very important that water remain in the public domain.
Of concern to many participants is the proposal's impact on fish in the river.
We have a vested interest in what is going to be happening over the next 2 years, the water use planning issue, and we want to ensure that fisheries issues and habitat issues are going to be addressed during the process.
Like any water use plan, it's always the trade-off analysis. You know, water for fish, water for people, water at different times of the year. So it's that trade-off analysis where groups have to get together and find out what is the optimal solution.
You heard some concerns about we don't want to damage the quality of our water supply. That's number one in our list. We want to hear those concerns. We share those concerns, but we want to hear them coming from the public so that we know how to address them and how to allay those concerns.
If you would like to find out more, please visit the Metro Vancouver website. There you can find background information and additional public feedback resources regarding the joint water use planning process. We all have too much stuff, but getting rid of it in a sustainable way is tough. Like all that old sports gear or that leftover paint that can't go to the landfill. Metro Vancouver's new We Recycle app turns your iPhone into a reuse and recycling powerhouse. It'll find the nearest place for your stuff to go. Simple, sustainable. Everything has its place. We Recycle, now available in the App Store. Welcome back to the Sustainable Region. Here in the filtration area, water is being treated from the Seymour Reservoir. But soon a tunnel will bring water here from the Capilano Reservoir as well, to be treated and then returned for distribution. When the plant is fully operational, it'll treat up to 1.8 billion liters of water every day. That'll happen sometime in 2013, but as you're about to see, a major milestone in the project has already been achieved. water spills dramatically over the Cleveland Dam in North Vancouver. It has held the stage among Metro Vancouver's monumental engineering feats for almost 60 years. That's about to change. The new kid on the block is literally on the block. The western end of it, that is. Twin 7.2-kilometer-long tunnels have been cut through the North Shore Mountains, from the Seymour watershed to the Capilano Reservoir. Upright shafts connect the tunnels to the surface. One of the underground tunnels will convey raw or untreated water from the Capilano source to the water filtration plant in the Seymour area. A second parallel tunnel will convey treated water back to the Capilano area, where the water will be delivered to communities in the western part of the region. Engineer Goran Ajaka has been with the project for close to a decade.
What we have behind us, we have 2 raise bore machines doing the shafts for the Capilano end. We have 2 shafts. One is for untreated water and one is for treated water.
A raise bore system is used. A powerful drill creates a narrow pilot hole that meets the tunnel below. A 4-meter cutter head is attached to the drill. The raise bore then begins pulling upward, with the cut rock falling down to the tunnel.
We're at the Capilano site, where we've been raise drilling these shafts to connect to the tunnels. Started raise drilling actually the week after Christmas.
Amid rumbles and screeches in the cabin housing the boring machine, the operators oversee the boring 24/7.
That's a 200 horsepower motor, and it's going through a good sized gear reduction, of course. Right. And it takes a heap to make that thing turn, and you can't see it. You know, I can't see nothing. And all you gotta do is go off your gauges.
As the machine is raising the shaft up 2 to 3 times a day, the machine needs to stop, pause, and remove the section of the shaft to carry on the excavation.
I'm a driller's helper, and I pull the steel off as the raise bore, the reamer is pulled up. The steel's behind me. There's 180 of them in there, and we just pull them off. I love it. It's great. It's working outdoors, which I like, and get to do at our own pace. Well, actually the pace of the rock and the drill.
The cutter head was visible when it awaited assembly. The rock is scraped by these cutting plates. The last time crews set eyes on the cutter head was almost 3 months earlier and 270 meters below ground.
There are a number of cutters on the cutter head that are crunching the rock, chipping the rock.
But I'm going to guess we were probably drilling an hour and a half a foot in that neighborhood, but it was granite all the way.
Down below, the stones fall into a gallery at the tunnel end. They call it muck.
There is equipment down there that scoops the muck excavated and loads it up into the cars that are pulled by the locomotives to the Seymour side. The material is being deposited in the Lower Seymour Conservation Reserve.
It is late winter 2011, and crews are anticipating the first surface breakthrough of one of the shafts. Below this yellow-tarped raise bore engine is where the milestone will occur.
For us, it's quite exciting because it represents completion of a portion of the work that's important to us.
What will be happening is as the concrete begins to break, the water will slowly go away.
It takes about 2 hours as water seeps through the cracks. The reamer has mere inches to go. The work crew and camera crew watch on as cracks appear on the shaft's surface.
You'll see a lot of movement in the concrete, and then when it finally does go away, and hopefully it does successfully, you'll hear a lot of noise in the bottom of the shaft. These pieces are falling 850 feet.
Then, in about a minute, the reamer head comes roaring through.
few photos, smiles, then work resumes. The second shaft still has to have its breakthrough milestone moment. Metro Vancouver is blessed with some of the best tap water in the world. It comes from 3 reservoirs, Capilano-Seymour and Coquitlam. The regional water main system brings the water to homes and businesses and Metro's member municipalities. Right now, Metro Vancouver is planning a new water main under the Fraser River, just downstream of the Port Mann, the bridge that links Coquitlam and Surrey. This new water main will be much larger than the existing Port Mann water main to accommodate growth in the municipalities south of the Fraser River. The new water main will also be able to resist a major earthquake. First, 2 shafts are built about 60 meters deep, one in Surrey near 116A Avenue and Surrey Road, and the other in Coquitlam's Maccabeak Park. The new main will be constructed in a 1-kilometer-long tunnel underneath the riverbed. Using the shafts for access, a tunnel boring machine, or TBM, will create the tunnel. It's like a large mechanical mole with cutters in front to dig away the soil. During tunnel excavation, precast concrete rings will be installed to provide support. Then, welded steel water main pipes can be installed in the excavated tunnel. Once completed, the new Port Mann water supply main will eventually be connected to new mains on either side of the river. For more information, visit www.metrovancouver.org and search Port Mann Water Supply Tunnel.
Welcome back. There's a lot of impressive machinery and technology in a state-of-the-art facility like this. But it's important to remember that no matter how high-tech the job, in the end, the results are still all about the people.
The waters of the Coquitlam Reservoir are calm and serene. But not far downstream, a major excavation is underway. These machines and workers are helping build a new disinfection plant for Metro Vancouver's drinking water.
What we are doing is upgrading our existing facilities, which includes the installation of a brand new UV disinfection plant, which will help make sure that the water is safe for the public both now and into the future.
Located on Coquitlam's north side, the 190 square kilometer watershed provides a third of the region's drinking water. It is this area below the dam where construction is underway.
Behind me you can see the intake structure. That's a 1950s heritage site.
The tower marks the site where water enters underground pipes. Currently, the water travels south through an ozone facility and a chlorination plant before passing the watershed boundary a few kilometers later. The new facility will go here and will include environmental features such as a green roof, LEED design, and reclaimed heat and water conservation systems.
The existing ozone plant itself also has upgrade work associated with it.
Dielectric generators will be installed to improve the ozone creation process and thus improve clarity of water entering the UV facility.
By improving the clarity of the water using ozone, which is already existing, we're able to actually downsize the size of the actual facility itself, saving significant cost both for construction and also in the long term in terms of operations. A lot of the initial phase is not very glamorous. We're into a lot of earthworks, we're into a lot of planning.
Excavation and concrete pouring of the chamber walls will be the focus through spring 2012.
From that point forward, you'll see the actual building rising out of the ground itself. And there'll be a lot of mechanical and electrical work going on through the year 2012.
Moving on to
At a total cost of $110 million, the project is slated to be ready in late 2013. Final touches will include environmental restoration work at the fill sites and around the new facility.
Improving the quality of Metro Vancouver's drinking water. At the end of the day, it will be an exciting project that we can all be proud of.
Welcome back. You're listening to the sound of 24 enormous UV reactors providing sparkling clean water. Guaranteeing the delivery of high-quality, safe drinking water is a priority for Metro Vancouver, and it's why it's also undertaking a major upgrade of its third reservoir located in the Coquitlam watershed. Sustainable infrastructure means that the buildings need to be as efficient as possible, but it also means that the building process itself needs to protect or enhance the environment. Next up, we see how the UV plant is being built in a way that protects Mother Nature.
Careful steps. That's the guiding principle behind the new water treatment facility being built at the Coquitlam Reservoir. The motto applies to both methods used during construction and the reasons for the new plant.
The purpose of the project is to build a new UV disinfection plant. That is to comply with recent changes to the guidelines for Canadian drinking water quality. In this particular case, it's Cryptosporidium, which happens to be a parasite that's endemic to most watersheds within British Columbia and includes our lake source here as well.
The watershed's ozone treatment system is getting an upgrade, and a new building is being built to house new technology. Ultraviolet lights are used to target pathogens.
It is a very nifty type of technology. It does not add any type of chemical to the water, but still allows us complete disinfection.
The treatment process allows water to flow past ultraviolet light tubes, which sterilize microscopic organisms and leave them unable to replicate.
254 nanometers is the actual wavelength that UV lamps generate, and that disrupts the genetic makeup of these organisms. Being within the Coquitlam watershed, the environment is of utmost importance during both the planning and also during the construction phases.
While the watershed range is upstream and not directly impacted by construction, attention is paid to the area around the 50 by 100 meter job site.
The sediment pond that you're looking at here is actually where all the site water is being pumped to. Then it runs through a storm tech system where it's pre-treated, and it goes through what we call flocculation. That actually grabs the silt from the water, drops it out of suspension. We measure it, it's called NTU, which is a measure of light through water. Here we're regulated to 5 NTU, which is very low, but achievable.
As is common on excavations, narrow wells are drilled to pump groundwater away from the work site.
We have 2 wells that are high in iron content, so they're being discharged through, and through aeration, it's dissipating the iron before discharge. We're below the threshold for fish.
The Coquitlam River is one of several features that constrain the site. It flows along the eastern edge, passing behind site trailers. Paralleling that along the roadway is the existing drinking water supply pipe. Then on the west, a hillside juts up sharply.
That's why we ended up with such a compact design. The result was a vertical configuration for the UV piping. That consequently resulted in a much deeper foundation at the bottom end. One of the significant impacts that we have reduced with regards to the way the project has been managed is to take a number of the trucks off the roadways. That material that's being removed, up to 80,000 cubic meters, is being taken from the site into the watershed areas for disposal. That's about 5,000 to 6,000 truck trips that have been taken off of public roadways.
One concern with this process was the spread of invasive plant seeds that were known to be on the site before work began.
Japanese knotweed was one, and policeman's helmet is another. What we've done here is to take those plants themselves, bag them, and it has been taken off-site for disposal in an appropriate landfill facility.
Environmental monitoring will continue as the project progresses towards completion in late 2013.
We pay a lot more attention to the environment than we ever did before. It's the new normal.
Welcome back to our look at drinking water, some of the best in the world. Distributing water sustainably is tied to our region's growth in that as we build more compact communities, we're able to deliver water more efficiently. This plays out in the eastern part of our region, where Metro is building infrastructure to meet future demand.
The Coquitlam Reservoir provides 34% of the region's water. Safe, high-quality drinking water that is second to none. It serves an area where the population is booming, particularly in the eastern part of the region, Maple Ridge, Langley, and parts of Surrey. That growth is expected to continue over the next 2 decades, and that means the delivery system to get water to all those new residents needs a major overhaul.
We're on the site of the pump station that is part of the Ridge Water Utility Projects, which includes the associated pipelines in this area. This pump station will also be replacing an aging pump station that's nearby, so it will have a higher capacity and it will be up to date as far as the efficiency and the sustainability of the project and the building itself.
About 50 homes are being directly affected by the construction, but the entire neighborhood of as many as 500 homes will experience some inconvenience while the new pump station and all the pipe leading to and from the building is installed. For that reason, Metro Vancouver has appointed a community liaison officer.
The idea is to inform them of what we're doing, as well as get feedback from their individual concerns. So we want to hear from residents so that we can work with them, and we work with our contractor to minimize the amount of impact, such as dust, cleaning of the roads, the amount of noise they make.
Relaying those concerns to the project's architect is also a key consideration.
It doesn't mean that every project can address every need. That's not a realistic expectation. And it's also true that we're working in a denser context. So we have to get smarter now about how these facilities integrate more with existing neighborhoods and with new neighborhoods. So this will be an ongoing challenge.
For the people in this neighborhood, the open trench pipe installation that started in late January of 2012 was likely the most negative aspect of the utility project. On the upside, the process is very fast. Most of the pipe was installed and covered over in just 1 month. Tunnels under the low-heat highway will also be built using entry and exit shafts that were installed using something called sheet piling. Rather than dig a shaft and then shore it up, these sheets of metal are driven into the ground to form the outer walls. Here again, this construction method has been chosen because it's faster. As for the pump station itself, it will be built to the highest environmental standards and will feature a green roof, energy-efficient equipment, and even the ability to generate energy. During its construction, it will need to be built on piles for stability, but instead of using conventional pile driving,
there's this constant metallic sound that reverberates through an area, a ringing, hammering type of noise, and really it drives people crazy.
The piles will be put into the ground later this year using a methodology called helical piles.
It looks like a big corkscrew, and around the outside of it, there's a big blade that's fashioned so that when the pile is turned, it digs itself into the ground, and this can be done with a really limited amount of noise.
The look of the building is also important. It's hoped the pump station will be seen as an improvement over what the site once looked like, an unkempt vacant lot.
These are public facilities that are important to all of us. We all use water. And the way we choose to design them to make them fit properly into dense areas, be an aesthetic benefit, and also respond specifically to the urban design needs of a neighborhood is a really important challenge.
The pump station is designed to block traffic noise from the Lougheed Highway and also to deflect any potential operating noise away from neighboring homes. Part of Metro Vancouver's commitment to making the construction and operation of this entire project as painless as possible.
We need to get the project built, but we also want to work with the residents to maintain their quality of life that they have come to expect in a fairly quiet neighborhood as much as possible.
That's all the time we have in today's episode about drinking water, but there is a lot more information online at metrovancouver.org. Share some story ideas or let us know what you thought about today's show at 604-436-6794 or send us an email at sustainableregion@metrovancouver.org. Don't forget, you can watch any of our videos online at any time at metrovancouver.org/videos. For the Sustainable Region, I'm Dagmar Timmer. Thanks for watching and see you next time.